always loved Peter's writing. This feels like a particularly sort of fine example of the poetry and lyricism, also the real humanity in it, sort of the way that it's blending poetry and real life in quite a moving but also quite funny way. And I love the detail, I think, as well. That's something that is really striking about the play, is that you feel like you're in these places, and I think I'm always interested in work that takes you very vividly back to a particular moment. And as Peter has said, it's set in London at this time, and you can sort of smell it and see it and feel it, and that's quite intoxicating, actually.
I was interested in various locations, including the one we're in now, which I knew about. And it's about a particular time in London, I suppose, too. As the 60s are about to emerge as the popular history would have it, really, I suppose. So it's a different London. London was where the 60s, well, it's where poor boys came from the provinces, if you see what I mean. The theatre was in London. It was all over the place, but the centre of the theatre was in London. And though I didn't first work in London, if you're an actor, that's where you have to live. So that was partly simple, and partly I joined the large army of provincial men and women that came to London. Well, it's set in a period, so it means that society was organised, so it couldn't happen, right? It was implicitly hard. Because not only was it legally different on an intimate level, but it was, well, the very fact that you're saying it is that, of course, intimacy, friendship between men, as we've just seen on the river, went on, and so people didn't want to examine any implications in that. The post-war wave broke in the early 60s. The beginning of dissolving of guilt.
They do discuss it, though, actually, guilt, don't they? Towards the end, there is a sense of them saying, why am I reliving all this now? Is it always my fault?
Encourages the wrong kind of introspection, I suppose. Well, I wrote it a long time ago. No, quite a long time ago, and it was the production that was going to happen. COVID stopped. So I made a few emendations, but not many. Usually by the time you finish the play, there's not much more. I've had 2 jobs, I suppose. Sometimes, well, I had 3 because I was an actor when I was young. They're 2 quite separate jobs, right, really. They're 2 different things. Directing your own work, you just have to try and, well, you don't you do treat it as if it was a play, if you see what I mean. I never really rewrite in rehearsal.
But he's very in tune with the sort of the musicality of it in a way that I think coming to it separately, you have to learn that about it. I think maybe there's something about having written it yourself that gives you the head start over how it should flow.
I think it was the 2 things that happened, really. I wanted to be an actor. I was an actor, and I had written secretly, but I didn't think I would be a writer. And of course, I became very interested in the theatre as an art. And of course, the director is particularly in the modern theatre, is in a unique position. The director part of me would try and make it all as clear as possible, and then it's up to them, really. That's what makes it still, the theatre, more interesting, because the audience make a difference to the performance. I mean, that's a kind of old truism, but it's absolutely true. One performance is different from another because there's an audience there.